What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about our thoughts and opinions about what American Horror Story Season 10 might possibly be. And like always, if you guys like the content, I want you to support it by liking the video, sharing it with all of your friends, and even if you're willing to, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload so we can continue to talk about American Horror Story and what might possibly be coming in the series in the future. So with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So with the title and the thumbnail, you know that the theme that I wanted to be talking about this week is American Horror Story Vacation. And honestly, the reason I want to talk about it more so than anything else is that when it comes to American Horror Story and the theme for every single season, you're looking at a central location, or at least the idea of a central location. And to me, the idea of vacationing, pretty much the embodiment of the American dream. Yes, I know the idea is to work hard, retire, and then make sure that your children have a better life than you have. But when it comes to America, I feel like most people dream more than often about being able to vacation more than they really think about retiring. So I feel like this concept is worth exploring, maybe even with a titular character that is excited about the one vacation they get to have every single year, and they just pick the wrong place to vacation in that particular year. To think about this maybe just a little bit deeper, and if I was the person in charge of this season, I would have someone like Dylan McDermott as the father figure for the family that we're going to be following throughout the entire season. It would be interesting to see him be an overworked paper pusher who's just dreaming about the one exotic thing that he can look forward to before he has to go back to his mundane life. And in the meantime, you can have his family with his wife and his 2.5 children who are simply just over the prospect of doing something on their precious vacation time that's going to suck all the air out of the room and ruin all of their times besides his own. So when you have to cast Dylan McDermott's family for this show, obviously, you're going to have to look to Sarah Paulson to maybe play his wife. I understand that she's about a 14-year difference from him. And even if it was at all possible to get Connie Britton again to play his wife, I feel like that would be way too similar to Murder House. So you have to shake it up a little bit. And because the fans want Sarah Paulson back, I feel like that would just be the perfect casting for this season. Now, of course, that isn't to say that we don't want Connie Britton back in American Horror Story. She's done a fine job not only in this series, but also other shows that Ryan Murphy has produced like 911. But when it comes to the staples of the series and the people that we expect to see back, especially if next season is going to be as fan-favory as Ryan Murphy has suggested, then I would honestly say I'd rather see Sarah Paulson, Evan Peters, and Jessica Lange back in some way, shape, or form than Connie Britton, but that's just my bias. I'm sure a lot of people might disagree with me. As for the rest of the family dynamic, I feel like I've used this before, but if it isn't broken, don't fix it. When you have Emma Roberts and Finn Whitrock on board to play the two siblings of the family. And if the creators of the show are just desperate to pick off things that they've used before, then having Dylan McDermott have some kind of extramarital affair with another fan favorite actor from one of the earlier seasons, and you can have Lily Rabe come in order to play that part. But even going one step further in this, we can have Jessica Lange come back as Dylan McDermott's mother for the season. That way, if season 10 is going to be its last, maybe it can just bring back some of the more iconic actors in order to close out this season and give us a satisfying conclusion to the entire series. As for what the story could be, I feel like this could be the absolute perfect opportunity for American Horror Story to start commenting on the horrors of social media and also all of the different devices and apps that we use in order to make our lives easier. And in this, I'm not even talking about something as casual as Airbnb, but also going as far to show that Facebook and social media is also just as damning. One of the things the series has never really done to any great degree is focus on how people can cyberstalk one another or maybe use the information that they post online for that person's advantage. If you ask me, I feel like there is a real world inherent fear in the concept of being in a brand new place, somewhere where you're not comfortable, and even though you want to be there, you're somehow still weary about everything around every single corner. And I feel like that's the feeling that they would have to get at in this entire season. The concept of wanting to be adventurous and go out of your way to have fun, but at the same time, that openness is allowing you to be vulnerable in a place where you do not have advantage because you're not familiar with the area. I mean, if they wanted to, and this is something that American Horror Story has done in the past, and while I don't want to step on anyone's toes here, I know that the series has focused on things that have happened so far in the past that they couldn't possibly affect any real living person right now, or everything that has happened is so distant in the past that it feels kind of history at this point. But they could adapt a similar story to Vandersloot and Stephanie Ramirez that dominated the news airwaves just less than a decade ago. Or if they don't want to be on the nose for everything that they're doing, they could take a moment and focus on something like one of the literal hundreds of other high-profile and even minor cases that have circled around various networks, both online and various local news medias, over the last decade, if not longer. The point here is that even though vacations are something that we look forward to, something that we aspire to day in and day out every single year in our menial lives and jobs, there is something inherently scary about going into a place that you're wholly unfamiliar with and trying to soak up as much atmosphere as you possibly can. You do not know who you're going to be in touch with or how they're going to try to take advantage of you, let alone all of the mysterious stuff that you can find along the way that are inherent to that place's culture, its mythology, or maybe just the dark underbelly of what that place is all about that you were wholly unaware of before you got entangled into it. And for me, when it comes to American Horror Story, one of the best things about this television show is that it allows us to take 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13 episodes to focus on those horrors. It breaks down those concepts and allows us to explore them in its own unique style, horror, and even humor. And honestly, the more I think about this pitch, even though I'm sure a lot of you guys won't like it, at least up front, the closer we get to season 10, or maybe the future season 11, 12, all the way through 20, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more people liking this season idea as time goes on. And maybe like some of the things that I did earlier this year or even last year, those pitches that people initially hated, I come back to them, I let you guys think about it, and everyone seemingly agrees that that is a good idea once you've sat on it. I can firmly tell you that the more I've been thinking about it as I've been recording this video, the more I'm getting into the idea of having a vacation season and focusing on a family trying to have their one precious trip a year, as the family is not only falling apart, but also being put in a situation that they're not totally familiar with. And honestly, the more I think about it, that's one of the reasons that I would love to see a season called American Horror Story Vacation. It's not anything that we've seen before, but it would feel right at home in terms of the entire mythology of the AHS franchise. So with all of that being said, guys, I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Tell me in the comments section what you think about American Horror Story Vacation, whether you would like to see this season or not. If this is not something you want to see, then tell me in the comments section. Tell me what you want to see in its place, and even do your best to pitch your own season down below. I hope everyone, like I said, is having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. Also, go down to the description section below, hit that link, and go follow me on Twitter, guys, because we can talk about more American Horror Story or just anything else I cover on this channel, or just even have a general conversation, because I love talking with you guys. Another thing you can definitely do if you're interested, and I've had a couple of people hit me up already, if you want to make a YouTube channel, if I have any time to talk with you or give you some encouragement, words of advice, and even give you some hints on what you need to get started and exactly why you should get started now instead of waiting for later, then make sure to tell me in the comment section below, go to Twitter, talk to me on there. I'd be absolutely happy to talk with you guys on that, because doing this is probably one of the funnest things in my life. And if you like my content, I very much appreciate it. It's been a real awesome journey for me to kind of do what I really love to do and interact with people who like the same things that I like as well. With all that being said, it's been real.